faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Let us move on to our next part of the session, Srimad Bhagavatam. Before that, may I know who all joined this one?
हरे कृष्णा विनीता गंधर्विका माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीतिदासी from Charlotte. हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and announcing your name first. Welcome to the call.
हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and announcing your name second. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, all glories Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajas. My humble obeisance to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Rana.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining this Sangha from many years and giving your association. Please bless us that we also able to be connected like you always to Bhakti Sangha. Hari Bol, welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shyama Gauri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shyama Gauri Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your sweet association. All glories to your services. Welcome to the call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. And to all the summer devotees, this is Megha from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Megha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and chanting so beautifully. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji. No problem. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to assembled devotees. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association every single day. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining early morning, mid-morning, chanting so beautifully. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. My name is Krishna Priya from India.
Hare Krishna, Vishnu Priya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to the call, Mataji. I see you today. You are the first time joining the call. Please do join us every single day. We have everyday Bhagavatam class and welcome to the call. A big Hari Bol to you. Hari Bol. Welcome to the call, Mataji. I see Prabhu is already on the call. Ekar Radhika Mataji, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for every day joining the call and chatting so beautifully. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Sanatana Dharma Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 4th chapter, 27 and 28 verses. Before I hand over the call to Prabhu, I request Raj Prabhu to please take over for giving brief introduction about Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, all devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Gauranga. There is a brief introduction for our dear Sanatana Dharma Das Prabhuji. His Grace Sanatana Dharma Prabhuji is a brahmachari from ISKCON Pune. Prabhuji is disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj and has been practicing Krishna consciousness for more than 12 years, about 20 years. Prabhuji is a B.Tech graduate from NIT Trichy and has worked as a senior manager with Tata Motors in the past. Prabhu currently serves as an area management and project development head for the Pune region. He is a counselor youth and corporate preacher, congregation preacher, secretary at Voice Organization, and also a remote mentor for NVCC Pune Temple. Prabhuji knows and preaches in many languages, including English, Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam, Bengali, Marathi, Telugu, and Japanese. Prabhuji has only one request from the devotees of Bhakti Sangha Chapa group, if they can switch on their videos if possible. Thank you so much, dear devotees. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Over to you, Mataji. Vinita Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Once again, thank you so much for your valuable association, and we are very fortunate to have you on the call. Please take over, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Devotees, I would like to see all of you. So please give me that great fortune to see one of all or the Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Yes. Thank you so much. I just wanted to inform all of you that I am in Bhu Vaikuntha. Yes, Bhu Vaikuntha. Bhu means earth and Vaikuntha means spiritual world. So spiritual world on earth. Can you all guess what is Bhu Vaikuntha? What is that spiritual world on earth? We have heard Heaven on Earth project in Juhu, which is famous for prasadam, where all devotees go to eat. Yes. Sri Rangam. I'm not in Sri Rangam. I don't say Sri Rangam is not Bhu Vaikuntha. Sri Rangam is Vaikuntha only.
Are you in Vrindavan?
Pandarpur, Prabhuji.
Vrindavan is Vaikuntha. Vrindavan is not Vaikuntha. Vrindavan is Vrindavan. Yes, I am in Sri Dham Pandarpur. Sri Pandarpur Dham ki Jai. Shri Vitthal Rakumai ki Jai. Chandrabhaga Maiya ki Jai. And tomorrow and after, we are having a group of few devotees, about 70 odd devotees who are coming for a yatra, and I'm humbly going to serve them. But why is it that I'm telling you all this? I'm telling you all this because Vitthal and Rukmini are very, very merciful. Yes. It's only when we all pray that they will give internet signals. Otherwise, in between, I will hang up or I'll be gone. So I really need the blessings. Yesterday I was on Siddhibat show and I had the world record made of maximum times disappearing. But the best part is devotees never left me. They were so kind. Nobody left. In fact, we kept adding up. It was the highest ever live watch yesterday in Pandarpur Dham. So, because it was, people were on the edge of the seat. Exactly when I was about to make a point, I was going off. So, I really need each and every one of you to kindly pray to Shri Shri Vitthal Rakumai that we have a very, very solid Krishna conscious discussion. So, we'll start with prayers and let's begin by taking the blessings of Shri Shri Vitthal Rakumai, Shri Shri Radha Pandurinath, and we have the very, very divine presence of His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj here, His Holiness Krishna Chaitanya Swami Maharaj. I would like to take their blessings as well, because without their blessings, I will not be able to speak anything. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjalashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschyata Desha Tarine Vancha Kalpatarobhyasya Pasindhobhya Eva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shadvaitadha Srivasadi Gaurabhanda Sute Naubhe Vityavari Karkatari Teuniya Sarate Dhyana Ube Vityavari Tulasi Haragala Kase Pitambar Avde Nirantar Techi Rupa Sundara Dhyana Ubhe Vitebari Makara Kundala Tarpati Shravani Makara Kundala Tarpati Shravani Kanthi Kaustubamani विराजित तू कमणे माझे ची सर्व सुख बडीने सुंदर ते ध्यान उभे विठेवरी. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Krishna, does anybody know what I sang? The
Yes,
voice was not clear.
Prabhuji. Yes,
What was it?
Prabhuji.
Please
Abhanda.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Shama Gauri.
Yes, yes, yes. Very beautiful, Prabhuji. It's all the glorification of Lord Vichala.
Mataji,
Abhanda.
Yeah. Tukaramanchi Abhanga, it's glorification of Makara. He's wearing the earrings of the like earrings of
Shark shaped earrings.
crocodile shaped earrings, and he's wearing Kaustubmani.
Yes, yes. So, in short, this was a beautiful darshan of Shri Shri Vitthal, and even our today's lecture is concerned with the darshan of Lord. Yes, what a coincidence. Of course, nothing is coincidence, it's divine arrangement of Lord. We are going to be talking about a devotee who's just praying to Lord, Lord, please, please, please be pleased with me. Lord, please be pleased with me so that I can have the divine darshan of yours. I can see your darshan along with your potencies. Now, why does this devotee pray that I want to see your darshan along with potencies? Yes, because even Duryodhan had darshan of Krishna. Shakuni had darshan of Krishna. Kamsa had darshan of Krishna. They all had darshan of Krishna, but they never understood the potency of Krishna. So it is very essential for a devotee to pray to the Lord that I would like to have your darshan along with the potency. So I would like to have the darshan of all Zoom participants with your potencies. So please do so. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll keep doing that. I'll keep doing it. Yes, so please show me your potency by turning on the video. That's the way I understand your potency. How much potency you have, or rather, how much internet package you have. That's why. Okay. So this has been a very beautiful chapter of Hamsa Guhya prayers, pure prayers sung by Daksha to please and have the august audience of the Supreme Lord. That was his whole intention. So we are going to be discussing 2 shlokas today. Yeah, 2 shlokas, and we'll discuss a part of purport, and we'll go ahead with today's class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Manishinontар Hridi Sanniveshtitam Swashaktivhirnavabhischa Trivriddhivih Vahnim Yathada Runi Panchadasyam Manishaya Nishkarshanti Gudam Savai Mama Shesha Vishesha Maya निषेध निर्वाण स्वानुभूति स सर्वनाम सच विश्वरूप प्रसीदताम अनिरुक्तात्म शक्ति. Please loudly and very nicely read the translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Please
Okay.
go ahead.
Translation. Just as great learned brahmanas who are expert in performing ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices can extract the fire dormant within wooden fuel by chanting the 15 Samidhini mantras, thus proving the efficacy of the Vedic mantras. So those who are actually advanced in consciousness, in other words, those who are Krishna conscious, can find the super soul, who by his own spiritual potency is situated within the heart. The heart is covered by the 3 modes of material nature and the 9 material elements,
Material nature, the total material energy, the ego, the mind, and the 5 objects of sense gratification, and also by the 5 material elements and the 10 senses. These 27 elements constitute the external energy of the Lord. Great yogis meditate upon the Lord, who is situated as a super soul, Paramatma, within the core of the heart. May that super soul be pleased with me. The super soul is realized when one is eager for liberation from the unlimited varieties of material life. One actually attains such liberation when he engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord and realizes the Lord because of his attitude of service. The Lord may be addressed by various spiritual names which are inconceivable to the material senses. When will that Supreme Personality of Godhead be pleased with me? Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Very beautifully read. Thank you so much. So let's try to understand this shloka. What exactly is spoken in this shloka? All right. So this particular shloka states to all of us that, how many of you heard this name Samid? How many, have you ever had friend or some relative with this name Samid or Samidha? Have you heard these names? Samid or Samidha? Yes. Whenever I hear names, especially Indian names, I try to find out the meaning. Because American names, I believe, have no meaning. Tiffany Mataji, just to check, cross-check. What is the meaning of your name? Just wanting to know if there are meanings.
No, usually American names
No,
do not
normally,
have
usually they are not.
meanings.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they don't have meanings. Right. They do. So I was correct. My suspicion was right. No problem. Very soon you'll have a spiritual name. Very nice. So we all have names. So I have this favorite. This is my favorite Leela, to find out the meaning of everybody's name. And if I don't get it, I'll find out. Please ask what is the meaning, and the people say, I don't know. That's the answer. If it's a complicated name, well, I don't know. Then I find out and I tell them next time. This is the meaning. So here, this word Samid or Samidha is very important. What is this? So Samidha is a very special kind of fuel stick. How many of you seen yajnas happen either in ISKCON or anywhere? Yes. You've not seen yajnas? My God. Really, very few of them. I think some of them are busy doing Sankirtan yajna. Prabhuji, we are doing this yajna, so we will not raise hands. Okay, everyone has seen something. We only do Sankirtan yajna. That's why we will not raise hands. Of course, you should observe the yajna. Observe, there are many, many deep and subtle aspects which make us very conscious of the personality of Godhead. Yes, we should observe. And you should be completely attentive. No phone, no mobile, no WhatsApp, nothing. Keep everything aside and we be attentive. We become conscious of God. So first time I saw a yajna, I fully took part. There was a center being opened. It was a student center, temple yajnas, etc. I've seen later. So I sat and I could observe. I was a very small boy. Now also I'm a small boy. I was looking at His Grace Radhesham Prabhu. I sat behind Prabhuji and I saw him so very absorbed in the yajna. So I said, well, I should also do that. There's no time pass. Very attentive to every limb. So you will observe in the yajna, they put some special kind of wood as fuel. Yes, apart from ghee. Yes. And that particular fuel, correct? That particular fuel is something that is called as Samida. So after every oblation is over, after every oblation, you put this Samid, correct? So these mantras, there are some special mantras called Samidhena mantras. Yes, Samidhena mantras. So these Samidhena mantras are totally 11 in number, which are mentioned in the Rig Veda. So the first mantra and the last mantra has to be chanted 2 more times. Yes, in the end. So it totally becomes 15 mantras. So there are 15 Samidhena mantras, prayer, offered as a prayer to Agni Deva to shine forth brilliantly. Yes, to produce that heat, to generate that fire. So like that, to invoke the fire from the wood. Yes, now if you see, there are 5 elements. What are the Panch Mahabhutas? You know the 5 elements? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Correct? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. So if you see, the subtlest is ether. Little more than ether is air, but air contains ether. Beyond that, is fire. But fire contains air and ether. So beyond that, subtler is water. But water contains fire, air, and ether. And the grossest of the elements is earth, which contains fire, air, ether, water, everything, all elements. So wood is also earth, correct? So within earth, the wood, the fire element is present there. It is present, but it has to be invoked using the Samidena mantras. Yes, Samidena mantras. This 15 mantras you recite, 15 mantras, 11 plus 2, 2 plus 2. Now somebody is in India especially, people are very proud of being Brahman. People, they show their thread. They say, Hum Brahman hai. You know, we are Brahmanas. So people have a lot of pride. If you're really Brahmana, then please invoke fire from the wood. That's a test. Come on, do it. If you can actually do it, then you are a Brahmana. And people used to do. Yes, the Brahmanas in the Vedic times, they are called Advaryu. They would recite these mantras and they knew how to invoke the presence of Agni there. Correct? So this requires a particular qualification called Brahmanatva. So this particular shloka is telling similarly. Yes, similarly. Now, where is Paramatma situated? Anybody?
Heart. Everyone's heart.
In our heart, hand.
Heart.
My God. Heart, okay, heart, not the Hindi one. Because I've been lecturing in Hindi for quite some time. So I immediately thought, heart, my God, Paramatma is in the hand. No, he's in the heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddesha arjuna tishtati. Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudani maya. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto. So Krishna is there in heart, hridi, heart. Okay. He's there in the heart. And that's why people say each other sweetheart. Actual sweetheart is Krishna. Yes, sweetheart. They remember Krishna. He's the sweetheart. Other heart or what heart? You decide. Chalo, bitter heart, little heart, whatever. So coming back, a yogi finds the Paramatma. An expert yogi, an expert Brahmana invokes the fire. So an expert yogi invokes, or rather finds the super soul in the heart. Correct? How many of you heard of open heart surgery? Open heart surgery. So please go and ask those doctors, the surgeons who do this open heart surgery. Have they found Paramatma? Please ask. If Paramatma was there, Hriddesha Arduna Tishtati, they would be having maximum darshan of Paramatma. Hi, how are you? They will be asking Paramatma each time they do the surgery. Hello, you doing well? Chalo, we have to close back, otherwise this guy is going to die. Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Are we back?
Yes, Prabhuji, now can.
I got a phone call, so got cut. That is the only source of internet now for me. Right, so I just cut it immediately. So what is the last point that you heard from me?
Open heart surgery.
Open heart surgery doesn't find Paramatma. Yoga is a process. That's why it's called yoga. There was a very famous teacher of yoga. He's opened a yoga school. His name was B.S. Iyengar. Now, B.S. Iyengar is very good friends with my spiritual master, as well as Radhanath Swami. So when Guru Maharaj wrote this book, The Journey Home, he came to give his reviews, and and the B.S. Iyengar. So Guru Maharaj had met him personally in Pune. So along with him, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu also had gone. So we normally ask, right, what happened? What did Maharaj say? What did Iyengar ji say? We tend to find out what is the conversation that took place. And B.S. Iyengar ji has opened such a big yoga institute, pan-world. He was telling, he was pouring out his heart. He was telling, I have opened a school for yoga, but the actual purpose of yoga is to see Krishna in heart. Yes, that is the actual purpose. But I'm not telling people anything about this. I'm talking about pranayam. I'm talking about asanas. I'm talking about various sattvic ahar, etc. Yes, but I'm not talking about the super soul. I feel myself as a cheater. But he told Swami Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, I would like to one day, definitely, positively, reveal to the whole world that the actual yoga is about finding Krishna in heart. And if this is not the yoga you're doing, that is, you're not doing any yoga with that intention, then that is cheating yoga. Correct? So that's what he was saying, cheating yoga. Every yoga, actually the purpose is to find the Supreme Lord in the heart. That is the purpose. Once there was a devotee who was waiting at the Rishikesh station. He was waiting there. And there was a big sadhu, white beard, big tilak. Yes, jata. He came and sat beside the devotee. The devotee was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And this guy was looking at him with his mouth open. He was looking at the devotee. And when the devotee opened, oh, he saw, my God, there's somebody looking at me, staring at me. So he asked him, well, what is it? Hare Krishna. He said, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He said, I want to tell something. And this devotee was wondering what this guy is going to tell. He asked, okay, so what do you want to tell? He said, he told him that I am a disciple of Shivananda Swami. Right? My Guru Maharaj is a great yogi. So I remember once, several years back, about 50, 60 years ago, I was a youth by then. There was a person who came. This person came and surrendered his life to my Guru Maharaj. He got hold of his lotus feet and said that, please, I surrender my life unto you. And Guru Maharaj said, yes, what is it that you want? So the person said that I want to learn Vedanta. He just spoke this one line, but this one line came from the core of his heart, that I want to actually know the purpose, the Vedanta. Veda means knowledge, and Vedanta means the conclusion of all the knowledge. And this person, Shivananda Swami, being very honest, he said, if you actually want to learn Vedanta, you have to go to Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So go to Bhakti Vedanta. That's the only place where you can find the Vedanta. So the conclusion of the Vedanta is actually the form of the Lord. This is the ultimate conclusion. Form of the Lord along with his potencies. How many of you seen some people who come walk up to you and tell, I've seen God? None of you. Yeah, really? None of you had this experience of anybody walking up to you and telling, I've seen God? I get so many. I get one at least a month who come and tell. They come and ask, Guruji, Swamiji, Maharajji, have you seen God? And I say, yeah, I see God. I see him every day. And they get stunned a little bit. Then they say, I have also seen God. So that is why Srimad Bhagavatam, what it does, it kicks out all varieties of fallacy, the false religion. Dharma projita kaitavat praparamo nirmatsaranam satam. If you really have seen God, then who was there with him? You should ask the question. You've seen the Paramatma, you've seen the Lord, who are all there with him? You're standing alone. Oh, then you're sadly mistaken. God is always present with his potencies. Yes, and his all Shaktis, his potencies are also persons. So next time you really get to see Lord, please, this is a litmus test. Did you see Lord's potencies also? Did you see his Shaktis also? That's what is revealed in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam clearly says that Krishna has 9 plus 3 potencies, 9 material Shaktis and 3 spiritual energies. So what are the spiritual energies? Spiritual energies we all know. Yeah, what are the 3 spiritual energies? Who can type it quickly into the chat? Yes. Who can tell me? This is an easy question. Shandini, yes. Shandini refers to the existential potency or the Sat potency of Lord by which the Dham exists. So currently I have taken shelter of the Shandini potency. The Dham is manifested by Shandini potency. Very good. The second is the Samvit potency. The Samvit potency is the knowledge potency of the Lord. Knowledge potency. The spiritual knowledge potency. And Ladini Shakti, that potency is actually Krishna's bliss, pure Ananda, personified by Srimati Radharani. Shandini is personified by Balram, Samvit is personified by Krishna himself, and Ladini is personified by Srimati Radharani. So these are the 3 Shaktis. Okay. And what are the 9 material Shaktis? The 9 material Shaktis have different names. Vimala, Utkarshini, Jnana, Kriya, Yoga, Pravi, Satya, Ishani, Anugraha. So like these 9 names are there. Yeah. So those of you are eager to know, I'll just put it in the chat for all of you. You want to know. Prabhuji, once more. Yes, please see it. You can take this text, put it on your file and switch on Balram font. You will get the revelation. Okay. So now coming back to our purport. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. We'll just read one part of the purport because it's very long. We'll take some part and then we'll go to discussion. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In his commentary to the verse, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur uses the word durvigneyam, which means very difficult to realize. The pure stage of existence is described in Bhagavad Gita, wherein Krishna says, Esham twantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam de dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridabhrataha. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life whose sinful actions are completely eradicated and who are free from duality of delusion engage themselves in my service. Elsewhere in the Bhagavad Gita 9.14, the Lord says, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridabhrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. We'll see one more portion and then we will open for discussion. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead after transcending all material impediments. Therefore, Lord Krishna also says in the Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschid mam vetti tatvatah. Out of many thousands of men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. I remember I was in my Guru Maharaj's Yatra. Yes, we did 7 days Vrindavan Yatra and it was like 5 days Govardhan Yatra. 7 plus 5, like that. We used to go. And these days it's not there. These days Govardhan Parikrama is just part of one of the days. And it's just 1 week because people are not getting leaves. They say, we are not getting leaves. Schedules have become so tight. So we had gone to Govardhan and I very well remember we were celebrating the disappearance festival of Srila Prabhupada, which comes in Kartik. So what had happened was many Srila Prabhupada disciples were present there. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Chandramouli Swami Maharaj, Her Grace Nartaki Mataji, Her Grace Malati Mataji, and so many wonderful. Out of them, there was one Srila Prabhupada disciple, His Grace Shesha Prabhu. I loved all the offerings, but I loved His Grace Shesha Prabhu's offerings the most that day. That was the best offering for me. I could connect to it very well. And he was mentioning, he started his point. Yes, he offered his prayers and he started by saying, Krishna consciousness is simple, but not easy. Wow. I've never heard something like this before. This was a kind of wow experience. Really? Krishna consciousness is simple, but not easy. Really? I kept pondering about it. I kept thinking about it and I was getting even more confused. Of course, our devotees use this strategy for book distribution. Excuse me, please come here. Are you smart or are you intelligent? And that guy is bewildered. My God, right now I don't appear smart nor intelligent. It's confusing. Are you smart or are you intelligent? And the person says, well, I think I'm smart. All right, this is Bhagavad Gita for all smart people. Thank you very much. Please take it. There's one way devotees use a strategy for book distribution. Right? And if the person says intelligent, well, says, well, this is the Bhagavad Gita for the most intelligent people. Please take it. Have it. You qualify. Both the ways. The devotees score both the ways. Either ways, what you say. Some people say, I'm both. I'm smart as well as intelligent. Very good. Excellent. This book is only meant for people who are both smart and intelligent. We give it to them. Please take it. Somebody says, I'm neither smart nor intelligent. Don't be depressed. This is a book that's meant to make people smart and intelligent. So who is the most intelligent? The devotee. Hey Krishna Bhaje, Sai Bada Chatur, Hari Bol. That's why devotee is very smart. But now in this case, so these are two statements which are quite similar. But Krishna consciousness is simple, but not easy. And that's why I gave this theme to my talk today. Simple, but not easy. Okay, let's look at 2 verses from the scriptures and let's try to understand them. Okay, so this is from the 11th canto of Bhagavatam. I will read the verse and I request somebody to kindly read the translation. Yanastayana rorajan na pramadyeta karhichit dhavan nimilyavan etre naskalen nappate diha. Please read.
Okay,
Krishna Prabhu.
one who accepts this process of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead will never blunder on his path in this world. Even while running with his eyes closed, he will never drift or fall.
Thank you. So what did you understand from this sloka? I hope you all saw it and heard it. What did you understand? Anyone? Please. You didn't understand.
Can we see it again, Prabhuji?
All right. You never expected this question. That's how I am. You'll have to be attentive. I'm going to question you at every step. Okay. I'll give you that. O King, one who accepts this process of devotion service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead will never blunder on this path in this world. Even while running with eyes closed, he will never trip or fall. What is your reflection after listening to this statement? What do you feel? Anybody?
I was thinking about Dhritarashtra because Dhritarashtra was not only blind with his eyes, but he was also blind spiritually. So we don't really need our eyes to see, but if we're in bhakti, then we can see things as they are, if we follow the footsteps of the acharyas.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Just follow the footsteps of acharyas. You don't need eyes. Just run. Thank you. Dhritarashtra was good. Anyone else?
Danvat Pranam Prabhuji. I heard somewhere
yes.
It says the two eyes are Shruti and Smruti. And even Shruti and Smruti, if you do not know, but if you follow pure devotee, you will never fall. And Neha Bikram Nasosi Pratyavaya. Thank you very much.
Excellent. That's the understanding I was looking for. See, a Brahmana has two eyes. One is called a Shruti, one is called a Smriti. Yes, Shruti Shastras, Smriti Shastras. And that is called Shastra Chakshu. That's the way we need to perceive the world around us. That's Shastra Chakshu. But suppose somebody doesn't know, I don't know Shruti Smriti. I'm neither smart nor intelligent. I don't know. I don't understand what is there. Well, no problem. Just blindly follow a pure devotee. Yes, and you can even run. Just run. And you're going to meet your destination. Yes, very good. Now let me give you another verse. Now please be attentive. I'm not going to give you a second chance. Ottishthata jagrata prapyavaranam nibodhata chorasya dhara nishitat duratyaya durgam patastat kavayo vadanti. Yes. Can someone read the italics?
Please wake up and try to understand the boon that you now have in this human form of life. The path of spiritual realization is very difficult. It is sharp like a razor's edge. That is the opinion of learned transcendental scholars.
My God, how do we reconcile this? Previous verse said just blindly run. Though this verse is saying Krishna consciousness or spiritual life is walking on razor's edge. It's very difficult. What happens? Like some Prabhujis have experience shaving. Hurry. If you're shaving with a sharp blade, you say suddenly, so you're not attentive, you're thinking of something else. Oh, you're going to get blood. It's going to bleed. So that's sharp as razor's edge. You're walking. Even walking, you'll have to be really careful. So this is a shloka which is telling Krishna consciousness is not easy. As the previous verse said, Krishna consciousness is simple. Yes, Eka Radhika Leela Mataji. Yeah.
Prabhu, I was thinking about the class from yesterday because Prabhu that gave the class yesterday, he said bhakti is simple for the simple heart. And so he was talking about the hankaras, like we see in Bhagavad Gita 3:27. And then, he was talking about the Sudurlabha, like we see in Bhagavad Gita 7:19. So if we are in path of bhakti, like just surrender, then it's very easy. But if we have all these hankaras, then it's very hard.
Nice, good understanding. Bhakti is simple for the simple. Actually, bhakti is simple, but we have become complicated. Yes, it's we who become complicated. So it's all of us. We have to give up our complication. That's the anarthas. That's the false ego, the ahankara, as she rightly said. And then when you become simple, then bhakti is simple for you. All right. All right. Bhakti is simple for the simple. Exactly. And difficult for the crooked. Oh, yeah. I used the word complicated. I don't want to call anyone crooked because our Lord is also crooked. Tribhanga Lalitam. And that crooked boy, he charms all of our hearts. Hey, the acharyas all call Krishna crooked. And yes. Anybody else wants to give an understanding, then I'll speak. Yeah. Okay. So His Grace Prahlad Prabhu is saying Bhakti is not cheap. It's not cheap. So such kind of the verses which really talk about that the bhakti is something which is rare, bhakti is very difficult. They want to indicate, or they want to wake up a sadhaka, see what you've got, please don't take it cheaply. Yes, so that we have a good attitude towards bhakti. These statements are made. Very true. Very nice. One more? One more understanding? Okay, Vivek Prabhu. Bhakti simple, we are complicated. That's you stole my words. I want something different.
They should not be taken for granted.
Shubham Yadav.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, like we get the human life after means many times of birth. We should utilize our means this human life to achieve the Krishna consciousness, not just get involved in the means material life, make it more complicated, and we get trouble, and just wait this human life. Hare Krishna.
Amazing. There was 3 strokes in one. Shubham Prabhu, Radha Damodar Prabhu, and Aapka Abhishek Ji. All 3 of them spoke the same statement at the same time. That's what is the fact. Actually, that is why you should see the second verse, what it says, Uttishtata, wake up. So such kind of statements, like bhakti is difficult, it's hard, is told specifically so that we don't take it for granted and we wake up in the human form of life. Okay, so now we'll discuss the same theme in depth. I've noted the points of Siddhi and Vivekji also. Okay. Now let's go to the simple aspect. We say bhakti is simple. Why it is called simple? Because the process is simple. Correct? In the Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna is about to introduce the Bhakti Yoga, what does he say? Maya saktamana partha yogam yunjan madashrayah asamshaya samagrammam yata jnasasi tachrunu. Maya saktamana, you can become completely Krishna consciousness, but it starts with tachrunu, just here. You just hear and you can become completely Krishna conscious. Pravishtakarana randrena swanam bhavasaroruham dhunoti shamalam Krishna shalilasya yatha sharat. But we have so many anarthas. How do we understand Krishna? Krishna says, excuse me, that's my problem. I will personally take the role of a person who will wash the anarthas. Yes, in India, you have a particular class of people called dhobis. Dhobi. You know who's a dhobi? Dhobi. The people who do the laundry. Yes. Yes. So the washermen are the ones who do the laundry. Yes, there's washing that goes on.
Washing the cloth.
Yes, washing the clothes, exactly. And I've heard even in the West, some of them, in order to support their education, they take up education there, and in order to support themselves, they become even dishwashers. You heard that? Dishwasher. Then my brother, when he was in the West doing in his MS days, was doing his masters. That time he was washing the dish. Correct? And washing, cleaning, these are all very, very, very difficult. So that's why I have personal experience when we have festivals. There are so many devotees who come for the setup. They will come early. They come, Prabhuji, we will do all the setup. We'll do the decoration. We'll do everything. Wow, wow, wow. So that's all done. But when the festival is over, the cleaning, everyone's disappeared. There's nobody who wants to do that because that's very difficult. So the cleaning, the moment it comes to cleaning, oh, very tough. So even for a devotee, there's one devotee who joined as a brahmachari. So I asked Prabhuji, why did you join? He said, because when I was there outside, I had to wash 2 pairs of clothes. I had to wash dhoti kurta also, I had to wash my pant shirt. I thought, better let me join the brahmachari ashram. Then I'll just have to wash 1 pair of clothes. That's it, not 2 pairs. It's just a joke. Living in it, he doesn't like to be clean, washing. So Krishna says, you don't have to worry about cleaning and washing. Pravishta karna randrena, you just ensure one thing. You have a submissive oral reception. Yes, this is a yajna as well. In this yajna, swaha, the entire Srimad Bhagavatam is going inside this yajna kund. And then what happens? Krishna says, Pravishta karana randrena swanam bhavasaroram. This is a connection of the ear and the heart. Yeah, there is a connection. The doctors, the surgeons, they will never be able to find this. This internal connection. The ears to the heart, and then as soon as the sound vibration hears, Krishna understands. Shrunvata swakata Krishna punya shravana kirtana hridayantastohya badrani vidunoti suhrit satam. Krishna immediately understands. Oh, this guy is finally he started hearing. He started hearing my katha. So Krishna is hearing that this person is hearing my katha. He's hearing my katha with so much of attention. Then what does Krishna do? Yes, Krishna says, well, now I'm going to clean up. I'm going to clean up the heart of my devotee and fill it with bhava. So we call Krishna as Bhakta Vatsala. Bhakta Vatsala. Now this, we know what's the meaning of this word Vatsa? Vatsa means a calf. Vatsa means calf. And Krishna is the cow, the mother. You know how, in what two ways does a cow take care of the calf? Cow does two things to take care of the calf. If you are very close to nature, we will observe this. What are the two ways? Yes, exactly. The first thing that a cow does is she milks, gives her milk from the udders and nourishes the calf. And the second thing is cow personally licks and takes away all the dirt. So similarly, we just hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna within the heart is going to clean up the adarthas and fill our heart with bhava, devotional ecstasy for him. Correct? So that is the process is very simple. All you have to do is just hear and rest. Krishna says, I am here. If you hear, Krishna says, I am here. If you don't hear, Krishna says, I am not here. Ye tamam prapadyante tamstataya bhajamyaham. So we have to hear, then Krishna says, I am here. Correct? So that is what is simple. So we all have Krishna bhakti in our heart. Nitya siddha Krishna prema sadhya kabunoy. Shravanadi shuddha chitta koryoday. So we all have Krishna prema in our heart. How many of you operated on pumps? Pumps. That was the way to get water. Hand pumps. I'm surprised Tiffany Mataji is also operated on pumps. It happens in US as well. Okay. So what happens in the summer? In the summer, the water table, the underground water, the levels go really down. And no matter how hardly you're trying to pump, with full force, with full energy, with a lot of vigor, still the water doesn't come out. It doesn't come, although the water is there. So that is the time we do an activity which is called priming. It's called a priming activity. So you take water from within. You take water from your home and pour the water. And when you do that priming, then the water comes out. The water is beneath, but the water is so low, it doesn't come out. But then what you do, you take water from another source and put it in the ground. And when you do that particular process of priming, then the water starts coming out. Similarly, Krishna Bhakti is there in all of our hearts. But because of our stay in this material world practically for, seems like long ages and lifetimes, billions of lifetimes we've been in this material world, because of which the Bhakti levels have gone very low. So when we perform this activity of hearing attentively, that's the time this priming happens and the Bhakti goes in the heart and then it comes out. Yes. So this is what the process is simple. The process is simple. Then what makes the Bhakti not easy? Yes. So Durvijneyam, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur uses this word. Why it is not easy? Because number one, it requires several ingredients. I'm going to name those ingredients and you can keep checking if you have those ingredients with you. Ready? Well, I'm not going to speak. I will end the class. Thank you very much. I want all videos on because then only I'm going to speak. Yeah, good. Nice. People are listening. Okay. I was just checking if you're all there. Still there. Okay. So the first and foremost quality is called eagerness. This is the quality which is required, and the eagerness you all can show in this class is by turning on videos. If videos are on, that means devotees are eager. I was sitting with His Holiness Loknath Maharaj for the last 3 days while doing japa, and I've seen his japa group, everybody with video on, and I was like amazed. Wow, everybody is on. So I told my devotee, see, everybody turns on video for His Holiness Loknath Maharaj. They told me he is Param Pujya Loknath Maharaj. You are Sanatana Dharma Das. He is Maharaj. You are Das. Right? You are Udas. So please, I'm a small Das, but still for me, you cannot turn on videos. I'll feel happy. Okay. Thank you for doing that. Many of you turn on. The first thing is eagerness. So it is there, the Shastras say that Krishna bhakti rasi bhavitamati kriyatamati kutopi labhyate tatra laulyam api maulyam ekalam janma kotir sukritirna labhyate. You can attain this Krishna prema, Krishna bhava, rasa bhavitamati is Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada has taken this word Krishna consciousness from the shloka. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita matihi. This is the root cause, the root verse for that Krishna consciousness word terminology. So this can be easily got if you have this eagerness, the greed, the laulyam. Yes, so we have to cultivate this. How do we do it? It is said that we have to associate with enthusiastic devotees, eager devotees who are hungry for Krishna. Yes, I've had an experience of associating with hungry devotees who are hungry for prasad. You may not have any hunger. Yes, you may not have any hunger. I have said, Prabhu, I'm done. Prabhuji, I would like to go and get some. I'm hungry, Prabhu. I'm really hungry. I would like to get 2 more chapatis. All right, I'll come. I'll also come with you. I'll also take one. And we decide, okay, I will go and take 1 chapati. But when you see chapatis, says, okay, give me also 2. Now, what just happened? Your stomach was full. Your stomach was full. What just happened? That is the power of association. So if you can associate with the hungry, devotee who is hungry for prasad, you automatically your hunger is manifested. Similarly, we associate with devotees who are hungry for Krishna. They're having that eagerness. We get that. And number 2, Prabhuji, somehow, please don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. I don't have any such devotee in my community. Yeah, everyone's fed up. There are no enthusiastic devotees. I am the most enthusiastic person for your kind information. But still, I want to increase my eagerness. Then what to do? Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to recite this one shloka. This one shloka you recite, you also become an eager devotee. What is that shloka? Let's all recite together. You all know it. Ai nandatanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame amambudo kripaya tava pada pankaja stita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya. So each time we lose eagerness, close your eyes, remember the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and just cry this shloka. Ai nandatanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhamamudam kripaya tava pada pankaja stita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya. Just recite this. And you'll get back your eagerness. Who's saying this? Prabhupada is telling this. And whatever Prabhupada says, it happens. Yeah. Do that. That's the first ingredient. So this is the most important ingredient which is difficult. And if this is not there, then it is very difficult. Very difficult without eagerness. So what can a preacher do? A preacher can take a person and go near it's like taking a horse and going near the water. You can take the horse and go near the water, but can you force the horse to drink the water? No. For that, the horse should have the eagerness. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Maharaj, our Shiksha Gurus, what they can do? They can just give you the Divya Gyan. They keep emitting and radiating Krishna consciousness. But if we don't have that eagerness, then we are very poor receptors. Yes, we may be with a very strong transmitter, but if we are having a very poor receptor, then there's no hope. Right? So that is the first and foremost. I spent a lot of time on this because I wanted to emphasize. The number 2, the second aspect. The second aspect. The second aspect, which is very important, is service attitude. When a service is announced in the temple, what do we do? Actually, I'll tell you what I do. I try to hide. I try to hide behind some other devotee. I try to hide behind some other devotee. How to escape this service? In the school days, there used to be a bell that used to ring. So I used to wait for the bell to ring. The bell rings, the period is finished. You survived. Similarly, so then service is given. Do we come forward to accept it, or do we run behind? Ramanujacharya, he observed that Lord Venkateshwara, Yerkuntaramana, Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Srinivasa, Venkatesha, Irkuta Ramana, Govinda, Govinda. So we say that. So Lord Balaji, yes, he is standing there in the 7 hills, Saptagiri, Anantagiri. He's standing there, but he doesn't have a flower garden. There are no flowers, fresh flowers which are offered. Lord should have his own gardener. He is Lakshmipati. He's a supreme Lord and doesn't have a garden. So then he was giving a class in Sri Rangam. So he was asking, well, he was looking at all his sannyasi disciples. Who wants to go? And everybody was trying to hide behind the face of that person who's in the front. And the front guy was trying to avoid the eye contact. Nobody wanted to go because it's so difficult. It's rocky. It's very harsh conditions, severe land. It's not very smooth. Now you have hairpin bends and the road which is made. But those days there was nothing like that. So who'd like to go? Nobody was voluntary. But there was a person. He raised his hand. His name was Anantacharya. He lifted his hand and said, Gurudev, I will go. Ramanujacharya said, well, you are a family man. You will be able to take your wife, and moreover, your wife is also conceived. She's just conceived. She's pregnant. How will you do it? He said, Gurudev, I will do it for your pleasure. And then Ramanujacharya said in Tamil, Nee oru aan pillai. That means you are actually a man's child. Of course, in Tamil, that kick is there. The literal translation in English doesn't work. It's not a punch. But he meant to say you really are a man. You have that service attitude. And because of showing such service attitude, he got personal reciprocation with Krishna. Right? He got personal reciprocation with Krishna. So it's very important that we also have a high-class service attitude, and much more than that. Let's have service attitude. Our service attitude towards the Lord can be checked how, what's the barometer for our service attitude? Because one may say that, well, I like to do this management, so I'm doing. I like to do the prasadam serving, so I'm doing. So what is the real test for our service attitude? It is our chanting. Yeah, that is when we are severely exposed. A person may be doing so many voluminous services, but the most important service is to chant. So are we attentive in chanting? Are we chanting with the right consciousness, with the right mood? So that is a test of our service attitude. How good service attitude we actually have. Now one may say we don't have taste for chanting. Yes, we don't have any taste for chanting. What do? That is when we have to do the Vaishnava Seva. Service cannot be avoided. Do service to Vaishnavas, you will get taste for chanting. That's why Mahaprabhu gave us 3 things, right? Vaishnava Seva, Name Ruchi, Jivadaya. So you first and foremost, you serve the Vaishnavas. Just serve the Vaishnavas. What did hippies do? Hippies in America simply served Srila Prabhupada. They didn't know anything. They didn't know Krishna. They didn't know Mahaprabhu. They didn't know anybody. They didn't know Shastras, nothing. But they knew this. Here is a person. He is a Swamiji who's a lover of God and he loves all of us. We simply have to serve him. That's it. There's nothing else. And just by doing that, what they developed taste in the holy name. They were going out on the street and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Harinam for practically 8 to 10 hours. They used to be on the street just doing Harinam. Chanting. And because they had so much taste for chanting, what happened? Jiva Daya. What is the proof that you really have taste for chanting? Your preaching will be very effective. You will find that the audience, the crowd, everybody is increasing. It's not almost just crowd, they are devotees. So Jiva Daya, that's happening. Correct? So Vaishnava Seva is a prime duty. With that, we develop taste for holy name. And how do you know that how much taste I've developed for the holy name? We come to know that by seeing the volume of preaching that we are doing. Correct? That will happen through us actually. Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravarta. So it is Krishna Shakti which will work through us. So we want to do good book distribution this marathon, then we need to do good japa. Yes, nice japa. I was talking to the top book distributors of India. Yes, many devotees. And all the devotees, even His Grace Vijay Prabhu. He's the top book distributor of the world. So I had the opportunity, the great fortune to interview all these great souls. And through all of their conversations, I understood only one thing. Strong sadhana. Just sitting at one place, with eyes closed, attentively hearing every single mantra of the 16 rounds. Hearing Srila Prabhupada's lectures daily without fail. And these devotees, all the top book distributors, please don't underestimate. They're only doing book distribution. They would read 2 hours minimum. The Russian devotees, they are the topmost in book distribution. They are amazing enthusiasm. They all get up before 4:30, complete the 16 rounds. And then they do Mangalarti and they sit together and read 2 hours of Prabhupada books. And then they go out for preaching. And what a preaching they do. Yes, what a preaching. Correct? So this is actually something, the ingredient that we need to have, the service attitude. And if you want more ingredients, please go to the purport. I'll give you some shlokas as homework. You can already, because of lack of time, we will not be able to discuss all. Correct? So the 7.28, 9.14, and yeah, these are the 2 shlokas that you can read. These also give some ingredient. And that is why Krishna says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Yatatam api siddhanam kaschid mam veti tatvata. That is why only 1 out of 1,000 aspire for devotional service. And even of those who aspire for devotional service, hardly one may understand it fully. It's very rare. Why? Because paying the price of these ingredients, primarily eagerness and service attitude. Yes, these 2 things is difficult. Not everybody can do it. So we all should do it. Correct? So more ingredients, 7.28 and 14. So now Krishna says very clearly, so we discussed the simple part and the not easy part also. 2 components we discussed of this lecture. Krishna says, Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvatah. You can understand me through devotional service. But even through devotional service, it is very, very, very difficult to understand 2 aspects of Lord. One is his greatness, second is his sweetness. These 2 things also are not very easy. This is not easy. Correct? Realizing. And I just show you one particular shloka, which comes in the prayers of Brahma. It's 10:14:7. One of you is going to read it, so please be attentive. Gunatmanaste pigunan vimatum hitva hitavatirnasya ka isharesya kalena yairva vimita sukalpair bhupam shavakhe mihika dyubhashah. Can someone read me? Read for me.
In time,
learned philosopher or a scientist might be able to count all the atom of the earth, the particle of snow, or perhaps even the shining molecule radiating from the suns, the star, and the other luminaries. But among these learned men, who could possibly count the unlimited transcendental qualities posed by you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who have descended onto the surface of earth for the benefit of all the living entities?
Lord is called here as Gunatma. Gunatma, a person who possesses so many wonderful transcendental divine qualities. What to speak of? Lord himself is not able to count his qualities. The expansion of Lord is Ananta. And Ananta, which each and every one of his hood is continuously speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. And each hood is speaking different glories. Since eternity is being speaking. But since time immemorial, for eternity he is going to speak, but he is never going to cover. He is not able to cover the transcendental glories of the Lord. The modern day calculator can, you know how much it can calculate? Modern day calculator? 10 to the power 100 digits. That's all. That means in front of 1, you put a 1 and you put 100 zeros after that. That is the capacity. Beyond that, you give any calculation, error. That's what it will say, error. It talks about error. So if you, so what is Bhagavatam telling? Bhagavatam is saying tomorrow scientists may come with 1 power 1000 also, 1 power 10,000. You may be finally able to count all single atoms of this universe, but you cannot count the glories of Lord because they are much more than all of these things. Correct? So understanding this is actually the something which requires the grace of the spiritual master. We'll never be able to understand the countless glories. That is very difficult because Lord himself doesn't know the limit of his glories. Yes, but we will be able to realize some when we receive the grace of Guru and Gauranga. Correct? Yeah, we need Gauranga Mahaprabhu's mercy for everything. Atanchane yata yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet vismrte viparitam syat tam chaitanya namamyam. So it is said that somehow or the other, just remember Gauranga Mahaprabhu. You remember Gauranga Mahaprabhu when doing anything, you will see that whatever is very difficult becomes very easy. Haribol, Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet. So right now it is being spoken very difficult. So that is why the thing which is even very difficult, who has come to make it very easy? Who's come to make it easy? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are so fortunate to come in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So whatever difficulty is there, Prabhu Bhakti is simple or not easy. What is the truth? Prabhu, please tell, don't bother. Just remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Don't bother, because he's going to make anything, something is easy, well, do it. Something is not easy, well, he'll make it easy for you. He's come for that purpose. That's the sole purpose of incarnation. Correct? So he has come to make. And yes, one more. The second part of the sloka, Vismrite Viparitam Sad. If you don't remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you'll have the opposite result. What is that? Even very easy thing become very difficult. This is the supreme secret. So before doing anything, just remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Giving a class, remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You're distributing books, remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You're doing DD worship, remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just remember. Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. So we chant every time, before we chant every round, just remember Gauranga. Yes, we just have to do that. And then very difficult becomes very easy. That is the prime secret. I was listening to a beautiful lecture by His Holiness Kadam Kanam Swami Maharaj. The time is up. I have content which is worth at least 5 minutes. What should I do? I respect time.
Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Okay.
And
So Mata is respected.
one thing, Prabhuji, did we finish reading all the purport, entire purport?
We have not finished. We will read, but
yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes. So last, what I'm going to do after this explanation, we're just going to simply read the purport, because it becomes very easy to understand that. There is no explanation required after this. So we'll read. So he was mentioning about the bhakti. The process of bhakti is like cooking. And cooking a very beautiful kheer, sweet rice. How many of you would love to have a cup of hot sweet rice prasad right now in a glass? Who says no for prasad? Of course, it was Ekadashi. It's Kavya Ekadashi is tomorrow. Not today. No problem. Yes, Prabhu. Done. Please give us right now. We are eager. Okay. So I'm sitting in Pandharpur and the technology to transport prasadam online is not yet available. But someday some devotee will definitely invent this technology by which we put prasad here and you will all receive it there. I have nice prasad for all of you. You can have e-darshan of prasadam. Coming back. So the process of bhakti is also like making a sweet rice. We are making a kheer. So while making a kheer, what are things we have to take care? We have to ensure we have the right ingredients, number one. We ensure we put it in the right proportion attentively. We ensure we have the right vessel. Yes, you cannot make kheer in, you need the vessel which is shaped in this, I don't know what the shape they call it. Kadai, that's what we call in India. Yes, which is circular in shape. Correct? So that kind of vessel by which you can, and you need to have a low flame. We need to take care, be careful, and keep stirring. So it requires a lot of patience. You have to keep going. So that's another ingredient that I wanted to tell, that is patience. Patience and attention. Because there's every possibility of burning the sweet rice. I remember once I was cooking for deities, I burned the sweet rice. I was almost in tears. I didn't know what to do. Senior devotees, they came pacified and they told, Prabhu, you can put some elaichi powder. This is our jugaad. Yes, that's how India works on a technology which is called jugaad technology. Jugaad means you have a patch-up work. So that's what we did. We put elaichi powder and devotees were appreciating. What a kheer, Prabhu. So amazing. Never tasted before. Only if you knew what I did. So it can get burnt. Yes, we have to be very careful. A little bit of inattention, you're going to burn the kheer. You have to keep stirring. Till the point of time you get the right color. Jugaad in English is patch up. That's the closest we can get, but jugaad is jugaad. There's no substitute for any Hindi or Sanskrit words actually in English. No. The flavor comes only in that language. Okay. So we have to be patient as well. So now, final point that I want to make. We are here. Krishna is there. What's standing between us? The thing that is standing between us is called as material impediments in this purport. They are actually the 9 Shaktis of the Lord who are standing to test us. The intention of Shakti coming in between us and the Lord is for the purpose of testing. Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavrita. Why Krishna? Why did you put Yoga Maya in between? Okay, Yoga Maya, Mahamaya, both are there. Same, ultimately the same, source is same. So why Krishna? Why have you covered yourself? Because I want to see the eagerness. I want to see the service attitude. I want to see the patience. I want to see that. So when we use these 3 ingredients, this is the way we remove the material impediment. And while we do this, we need Krishna's grace. What is that? Mat chitta sarva durgani mat prasada tarishyati atachettam mahankaro na shroshasi vinakshasi. So it's only by Krishna's mercy we can use these 3 ingredients and overcome these material impediments. And how does one understand? When does one understand that one has overcome all material impediments? Oh, you have gone through everything. It's done. How do we understand? Yes, we'll understand that when we stop experiencing misery in this world. Kleshagni. That's the beginning. You're beginning to get mercy means what? There is no more material misery for me anymore, Prabhu. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate Vidimahendradischakitayate. So we are experiencing that the world is bliss. This is Vrindavan. Prabhupada, he was in New York. Where are you, Prabhupada? I'm in Vrindavan. He was in Bauri. Prabhupada asked, where are you? Prabhupada said, I'm in Vrindavan, because Prabhupada was always in Vrindavan. Correct? So we become like that. Yes? Tapakari. The spiritual energy, as its perverted reflection in material world, becomes tapakari. It gives us misery. There is pleasure, but always punctuated with misery. There is always mixed. So that day when you have crossed over the material impediments, what you experience is kevala ananda kanda, nothing else. Yes. So the main way we can progress, along with these 3 ingredients, the main thing that we need to keep going on is by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Some of you may feel it was a very technical class, Prabhuji. So many slokas you quoted from here and there. I remember the first time, very small boy, I studied Bhakti Shastri, NOD. Yes. And there were 4 teachers, very senior and exalted devotees who came. One of them was His Grace Kamal Lochan Prabhu. I released the class. But at the end of the experience, I went to my mentor, His Grace Sundar Prabhu, and I told Prabhuji, I relished the experience, but I don't know anything. If somebody says, what did you learn? I scored full marks in the exam. I scored full marks in the test. Closed book and open book. Open book was also very good. So I scored full marks, Prabhuji, but somebody asked me, honestly, tell from your heart, what did you study? I will not be able to say something, Prabhuji. Please help me here. And the devotee put his hand on me very mercifully and cajoled me and said, Prabhu, don't worry. Never leave your beads. That's the only conclusion. Don't. Mala ko chodna nahi hai. This is what he said in Hindi. Yes, don't leave your beads. That's the only thing. Keep chanting. That is the only thing you will learn. So even from this class, the ultimate bottom line, the essential principle is never leave the beads. Along with that, add this ingredient and keep going on. So we'll complete the purport reading and then we will close our discussion. To understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality, one must undergo severe penances and austerities. And what are those penances and austerities? Correct? Those 3 ingredients mainly. But since the path of devotional service is perfect, by following this process, one can very easily come to the spiritual platform and understanding the Supreme Lord. And that's very easily available by taking mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is just incarnated. He has come mercifully to make the difficult very easy. This too is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 18.55, where Krishna says, Bhaktyamam abhijanati yamanyaschasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tat anantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead as He is only by devotional service, which means there is no scope for Gyanis, Yogis, Karmis. Karmi is out of the equation altogether. And when one is in the full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by devotion, such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Last para. Thus, although the subject matter is durvignyayam, extremely difficult to understand, it becomes easy if one follows the prescribed method. Our prescribed method is to first surrender to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Coming in touch with the Supreme Personality of God, it is possible through pure devotional service, which begins with Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. In this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Pravishtakarana Randrena Swanam Bhavasaroruham. The process of hearing and chanting enters the core of the heart, and in this way, one becomes a pure devotee. By continuing this process, one comes to the stage of transcendental love, and then he appreciates the transcendental name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, a pure devotee by devotional service is able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead despite many material impediments, which are all various energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Easily making his way through these impediments, a devotee who comes directly in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After all the material impediments described in these verses are but various energies of the Lord. When a devotee is eager to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he prays to the Lord, Ainandatanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam mudau payatava pada pankaja stitaduli sadrisham vichintaya. Oh, son of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or the other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Being pleased with the devotee, the Lord turns all his material impediments into spiritual service. This is a very huge topic in itself. That's why I didn't have time to take. In this connection, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes a verse from Vishnu Purana. Ladini Shandini Samvit Yeka Sarva Samstito Ladatapakarim Vishnat Vaino Gunavarjate. In the material world, the spiritual energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is manifested as tapakari, which means causing miseries. Everyone hankers for happiness, but although happiness originally comes from the pleasure of the potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the material world, because of material activities, the pleasure potency of the Lord becomes a source of miseries. Tapakari. False happiness in this material world is a source of distress, but when one endeavors for happiness are redirected to the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this tapakari element of misery is vanquished, as we discussed. Tapakari becomes ladakari, becomes pure happiness. An example given in this connection is extracting fire from wood is certainly very difficult, but when the fire comes out, it burns the wood to ashes. In other words, experiencing the Supreme Personality of Godhead is extremely difficult for those devoid of devotional service, but everything comes easier for a devotee, and thus very easily meet the Supreme Lord. The prayers say that the form of the Lord is beyond the jurisdiction of the material form and is therefore inconceivable. So you want to understand what is this prayer in one line? This is the line. A devotee prays, however, my dear Lord, be pleased with me so that I may very easily see your transcendental form and potency. Non-devotees try to understand the Supreme Brahman by discussion of Neti, Nisheda Nirvana Sukhanubhuti. A devotee, however, simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, avoids such laborious speculations and realizes the existence of the Lord very easily. So requesting all the devotees to kindly pray for me that we are all able to overcome our material impediments. Please pray that we increase our eagerness, we increase our patience, we remain patient also, at the same time increase my service attitude. These three things can increase, thus receive the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and cross over the material impediments and one day be qualified to see Krishna face to face with his potencies. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanva Pranam to Srila Prabhupada. What a beautiful class, Prabhu. What an amazing class. It was flowing like Ganga, Prabhu. Certainly, for your classes, I think this time period is very short. Certainly, it can go for hours, if not days, Prabhu. So beautiful class, Prabhu. Such an amazing class. Certainly, Prabhu, so many beautiful points you touched in the class. But certainly you talked about the open heart surgery. If what I was thinking, not open heart, but any kind of surgery, Krishna is there. Krishna is there. That's where we see Krishna. Krishna is there. Even the atheistic people, they don't believe in God, but as soon as there is some difficulty, everybody's praying to God. We have seen that. We have seen that in big politicians, whatnot. And Prabhu, beautiful points: eagerness, service attitude, patience, attention. So beautiful, Prabhu. Our Shastras gave us so much, and our Gurus, Guru Varga, Srila Prabhupada and Guru Varga has given us so much information that we can just dig deep into that. Ramayana itself says, Guru Pada Raj Mad Mangal Anjan Nayan Amiya Drik Dosh Bhivanjan. the dust of the lotus feet of Guru is like Anjan, is like what do you call it? Kajal, which take away dosha, our defects, our mascara that take away dosha. And then it says, Ugrahi Bimala Bimochana Hike, Mitehi Dosh Dukh Bhavaranjani ke. And with that, our heart gets clear, and only the real heart, Krishna will come. Otherwise, Krishna will not come. So everything starts with the hearing of Guru and, putting our mastak into the Guru's lotus feet. So much so beautiful Katha, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Just amazing class, Prabhu. Dear devotees, I request you to please raise your hand or go ahead with your questions or realization for Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'll just take one question because the next group is calling me.
Oh,
I'll just take one. If there are any, otherwise, I think all devotees are convinced. You're so very convinced. If no question was, you're very convinced about what was discussed. We just take His Grace Balaram Prasad Prabhu's question and
okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Balaram Prasad Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Sanatana Dharma Prabhu ki jai.
Hi.
Prabhu, I don't know whether I can add anything or ask anything because it's already been, you're churning. I gave a butter. On the top of the butter, you gave the sweet rice with elachi. So that it's enough. But what I need is one question is, you brought the flavor of Gauranga. So I was thinking, this is only because of the mercy of Gauranga, even Srimad Bhagavatam came into our existence by Srila Prabhupada. But what about the other Sampradaya, Prabhu? Because it's bothering me. When Narada Muni comes to, sorry, I'm going back to the basic question. Narada Muni comes back and talks to Vasudeva. By the time he had written so many other Vedas, etc., but the Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence for all of us. It has come only to the Gaudiya Sampradaya only. But what about the others? Because there's so many millions, and even though there are some other Sampradayas, I don't know whether this Srimad Bhagavatam is the main thing for them. So it is, how do we go about it? It's only by Gauranga's mercy. Is it true or anything else, Prabhu?
His Grace Balaram Prasad Prabhu, thank you very much for asking this question, because this gives me an opportunity to glorify our beloved Srila Prabhupada. Recently, there was a discussion from the Nimbarkis, Vishnu Swami Pantha, or Madhva Pantha, as well as Ramanandis. They all had come together, and there were our ISKCON devotees also there. Just one, I need to cut the call. And all four of them have accepted that actually Srila Prabhupada is the divine Acharya, not only for all of you ISKCON people, not just for the Gaudiya line, not just for the Madhva line, not for the Brahma line, but actually for all the four paramparas. It's for all four sampradayas. And I'm very happy to announce that when we were in Sri Radha Kunj Bihari temple, there have been Sri Vaishnavas who come from, there was a Ranganath, deity of Ranganath spoke to the Pujari and he told him, go to ISKCON Pune. I'm not glorifying Pune, but I'm just telling what happened.
Radha Kunj Bihari temple, where is it, Prabhu?
Radha Kunj Bihari temple, and go and purchase Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit set of from there of Prabhupada and study it every day. And there are similar experiences.
Sorry,
I'm sorry, Prabhu?
It came in the dream of a priest. Gauranga came in.
No, Ranganath spoke to him. Ranganath spoke to the priest. Ranganath talks to devotees there.
Wow.
Those who closely serve, he talks even today. Just like Varadaraj would speak to Kanchipurna, like that, Varadaraj talks to many devotees there. I've met them also. Right. I met those devotees. So they know the heart of Lord. So Lord told personally. So he came and purchased. This happened a few years back. So like this, if you see not only these four paramparas, once a devotee went, he just wanted to take his prasadam in some place. Yeah. So he just went to an ashram. We saw there was ashram of Swami Vivekananda. Now they're not under Vaishnava parampara. So he went there. And he went there, took his prasad, and he said, I want to leave. He said, please come and check our library. The devotee was saying, my God, all Mayavadi stuff must be there. So still he went as an austerity, and he saw that they have a special slot of 4 hours where all their saffron sannyasis have to sit and study Prabhupada's Bhagavatam. I recently went to Bhavnagar in the year 2019 for book distribution. So and I went to a father of, there was a Christian school, associated school. So Father Sanil was his name. So he was from Kerala. I speak Malayalam also. So I spoke to him in Malayalam. He was so happy. He was happy with distribution of Gita in his college, in his school and college both. So I went and I missed my prasadam. So devotee packed prasad and he came and I told you, please sit. So I told father, like, I want to eat because I have one more slot. I can't go back to temple. He said, you can come to our quarters. He took me and the devotee to the personal quarters. He offered me. They were giving some idli and stuff. I said, I didn't want to refuse. I said, we eat only what we cook. That's what I said. And he said, please, we are so fortunate that God's own men have come to our place. They said that. And then I gave them some prasad, some part of prasad. And they were very happy. They took happily and they started eating. They were glorifying. And then one of the fathers, he said that before we become father, we have to be brother. And when we are brother, we have to study the Vedas. Please listen to this. We have to study the Vedas. We have to study Puranas, Itihasas, Quran, all these things. We study all religious things. And he told the best thing that I ever liked was Srimad Bhagavatam, and Krishna is my favorite. And I've read Bhagavatam of Srila Prabhupada. And let me tell you that this Krishna is not, I'm not able to forget him. I'm not able to forget him. I've developed special relationship with Krishna. So even other, not what to speak, I just spoke about Vaishnava Parampara. I spoke about, so even Swaminarayan Parampara. Swaminarayan are actually bona fide followers of Ramanujacharya. They come in the Ramanuja Panth. There, I met their sannyasis. They also say that, Prabhu, when we take sannyas, the first thing they showed all entire Bhagavatam set, they said. Yes, they said, they gave the whole Bhagavatam, said, Prabhu, we study this every day. I saw notes. I was just wondering, even I have not studied so scrutinizingly. Prabhupada has told ISKCON devotees to study scrutinizingly, but other devotees, everybody studies so scrutinizingly, Prabhupada. So please, His Grace Balaram Prasad Prabhu, do not worry. Everybody is accepting Srimad Bhagavatam, and very soon, the whole world is going to accept Srimad Bhagavatam and Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You'll see this. It will happen. But for that, we have to do two things. We have to never stop Nagar Sankirtan, and we should never stop book distribution. So Prabhupada himself said that I will be alive in this moment as long and until the book distribution goes on. So these two things we have to never stop. We keep doing this and we'll see miracles happening. And the whole world, it will happen. Yes.
And on the top of it also said Gauranga. So I was thinking why His Holiness Jayapatak Maharaj always, whether it's in the lecture, in the last, in the beginning, he'll say Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. Why is he saying always?
Because he's not an ordinary soul. He's the personal associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We don't know who he is. We don't know who he is, but he is one of the personal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We need to understand he's very special. He's not an ordinary soul. That's why Srila Prabhupada gave him the land of Mayapur, development. And you see what he has done. What he has done. I was recently in Mayapur. And my every single step I was taking as a gratitude for His Holiness Jayapatak Swami Maharaj, the wonderful team of Prabhupada disciples who have cultivated the place so wonderfully. Prabhupada told, take this land of Mayapur, cultivate it, enjoy it. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. It convinced you. It totally convinced today. It was bothering me, but I asked the right question to write, especially to you. Thank you.
You asked the right question and Krishna inspired me to give the right answer. I don't know how it came out.
Somehow.
Thank you,
Prabhu. I'm fortunate to be in this association of Bhakti Sangha. I don't know. It's churning my
also
heart.
Fortunate.
Prabhu, it's churning my heart. I was in many groups. It's not that. But this Bhakti Sangha is giving me a flavor after flavor after flavor, and it giving me an essence every day. Every day.
I also want to share one realization, Prabhu. I have been to many groups, but this is a group that I love to be with. This is something which is an amazing group. They're here so attentively, they inquire so deeply. I was planning to push off early. I got already 3 calls. Yes. To leave. So I really don't want to leave, but I have to.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Balaram Prasad Prabhu. Thank you for being with us. Your association is very important. You ask beautiful questions, actually, which are helpful to all of us. Thank you so much for being with us, Prasad Prabhu. And certainly, Prabhu, very beautiful answer. Our GPS, the Guru Parampara system, we follow that and we'll reach to Krishna.
I can't stop but read the comment of His Lalitangi Radha Mataji. Class today is Amrit Keli, a cooked down condensed kheer. Ultimate.
She's our Kaviraj. Mataji is our Kaviraj.
So my respects. Thank you.
Prabhuji,
Okay.
I know you are very late. There was a question from Dhanraj Prabhuji.
We'll make it fast. We'll make it fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
So wonderful class, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Kindly clarify, while doing spiritual practices, if person loses his hope to chase the material competition, which is required for him to survive, is this the good sign, or person is just lazy avoiding his material responsibilities?
Yes, we have to question ourselves. Actually, this such kind of answers, right? We have to ask ourselves the question. Nobody else can tell what's going on in your heart. So you ask, am I doing this? So now how to check? How to check is, see, material responsibilities have to be done. It ought to. So you list down your material responsibilities. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are my expectations. Always understand the NICE formula. Okay, NICE. N for needs. And there is interests. There is concerns and there is expectations. Correct? Sorry for the typo. It's expectations. You all can understand. Needs, interests, concerns, expectations. So needs is a rock bottom minimum. Is this being fulfilled? Interest is something which are some other stuff, fringe stuff. Okay, we want to go for outings. We want to go for chilling, enjoying. Interests. Then again, there are concerns. Now, we have to ensure that we don't. Concern is something we have to avoid completely. And expectations is from the other person, from your family members, from those who are depending on you. Now, concerns also, to just elaborate a little bit more, concern is something that family members or your company bosses, they all may have from you. And you ensure that you're not stepping onto that. You're avoiding it. So please take an inventory of this. List down your needs, your interests, your concerns, and your expectations. And concerns and expectations of others. So if you're fulfilling the needs, you're fulfilling the expectations to a degree, and you're avoiding the interests are something which we can, is not required. Our interest should only be in Krishna. Yes. So this NICE. Take, and you have to answer your own question.
Thank you so much, bro. That was such a beautiful, beautiful answer. Thank you. Thank you for answering that in the last minute. So dear devotees, as Prabhuji has to go for another class, we all know that he's being continuously called.
I'm late for 15 minutes late.
Prabhuji is already late. So let us pray our obeisances to Prabhuji, dear devotees. Vancha kalaptaru bhashya
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice.
Guru Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai. Jai Sanatana Dharma Prabhu ji.
Prabhuji, done with
Thank you.
Prabhuji.